Our Who's That Pokemon for this week is Doduo. And you may be asking, why Doduo? Because he doesn't appear in this episode. Well, so way back in the day, I already set out what Pokemon we were going to do at each episode, not knowing that we were going to take a 2-year hiatus. And we've already done both the 2 Pokemon that appear later, so I didn't want to put them there. So you guys are just going to have to go with it. And let's be honest, Doduo doesn't really get an episode. That's why he's here.
Just roll with it. It's fine.
Just roll with it. All right, so some basic information about Doduo, or as his Japanese name is, Dodo. It's number 84 in the Pokédex. It's a normal and flying type. It's 4 feet 7 inches tall and weighs 86.4 pounds, and it is known as the twin bird Pokemon. It also evolves into Dodrio at level 31.
I feel like that's a pretty big ask to stick around with a Doduo until a level 31. It's like if this thing isn't already evolved into a Dodrio by the time I catch it, it's going into the box.
Yeah, I have never used Doduo or Dodrio in a game because there's so much better flying Pokemon. I mean, especially in the originals, you can get Pidgey, you get a Pidgeot by then. I mean, even Farfetch'd is a better Pokemon than Doduo, and that thing doesn't even evolve.
It just beats people with a leap.
Yep. All right, so some origin on Doduo. What's its name? Doduo's English name is a straightforward combination of duo, meaning 2, and dodo, the extinct flightless bird. This perfectly reflects Doduo's design, a 2-headed flightless bird Pokemon. Its Japanese name, the Japanese name Dodo, is taken directly from dodo, the same extinct bird referenced in English. What is Doduo based off of? So we have a few things here. Its primary inspiration is, you guessed it, the dodo bird. Doduo's clearest influence is the dodo, an extinct flightless bird from Mauritius. That's where it gets its stubby wings, its stocky legs, and the not flying comes from. The dodo was famously awkward and groundbound, which fits Doduo's identity as a bird Pokemon that runs instead of flies. Josh, did you ever play Pokemon Stadium?
Yes, I did, but not to a great extent.
Okay. I don't know. I always remember, I think it wasn't a Doduo, it was a Dodrio, but it can still learn the move fly. And it was just funny seeing this wingless bird flying through the air.
Yeah. My aunt always called me a dodo a lot when I would do stupid things growing up. Aren't dodo birds supposed to be stupid? Or is it just because are they characterized that way because they can't fly?
We're going to have to ask.
Or am I just being a dodo and making stuff up?
We might need some stuff from Kate, but I remember, aren't the dodos in Ice Age pretty stupid?
Probably. I haven't seen Ice Age in 20 years.
Yeah. I think they were known to be stupid, and that's why they went extinct.
Man, I really wish some of the stupidest things or folks around us would go extinct, but hey.
All right, let's continue on with Doduo's inspiration. It's also inspired by ostriches and emus. Doduo also borrows traits from large, fast, flightless birds like ostriches and emus, long, powerful legs, emphasis on speed and running, aggressive kicking behavior. This explains why Doduo is a normal flying type that learns very few actual flying moves. It's flying and classification only. And then it has a mythological conceptual influence, the 2-headed creature. The 2 heads pulls from a broader mythological trope of multi-headed animals, often used to suggest conflicting instincts, chaos versus cooperation, and unpredictability. And then Pokédex entries lean into this by stating the heads argue, fight, and act independently, which turns a simple visual gimmick into personality. All right, Doduo's biology. Doduo is a 2-headed bipedal avian Pokemon with a bristly down-like coat of brown feathers covering both its body and head. Each head has a long, sharp beak and a pair of beady black eyes. Males are distinguished by black, flexible necks, while females have brown necks. Both genders share the same brown legs. Each foot has 4 digits, all ending in sharp claws. The 2 heads are said to share identical brains, though some accounts suggest they may occasionally function as if they were separate. It is theorized that the heads communicate through a form of telepathy to stay coordinated. Even while sleeping or feeding, Doduo remain vigilant. One head is typically awake, alert, watching closely for enemies. The head switch turns roughly every hour, with both only sleeping at the same time when Doduo feels completely safe. Despite this division of attention, both heads share the same genes and fight together in perfect synchronization.
So it's like a cat-dog situation here.
Yes. Kind of. Due to its nearly non-existent wings, Doduo is a poor flyer. Instead, it has developed powerful legs that make it an exceptional runner. Capable of reaching speeds of up to 60 miles per hour or 100 kilometers per hour, it charges across open plains, leaving footprints nearly 4 inches or 10 centimeters deep. Doduo maintains its balance while running by raising and lowering its head in rhythm. Some researchers believe the second head is a relatively recent mutation. The Pocket Monsters Encyclopedia notes that Doduo was first documented only 3 years before the events of Pokemon Red and Green, which I had to look it up. This is a book that came out like around the time Pokemon came out, only in Japanese. Doduo is most commonly found in wide open plains, grasslands, and savannas. Red and Blue says, makes up for its poor flying with its fast foot speed, leaves giant footprints. That is very scientific.
Yeah. Well, they had just discovered it, so give them a break, Jeff.
A Pokemon Yellow says, its short wings make flying difficult. Instead, this Pokemon runs at high speeds on developed legs.
All right, pause for a second. Why would they classify it as a flying type if the thing can't fly?
Because it's a bird,
Fair enough.
and bird
This
fly.
this is why people don't trust science anymore.
Pokemon Stadium says a Pokemon with 2 heads, more skilled at running than flying, it is capable of racing at speeds over 60 miles per hour. A Pokemon Gold says by alternately raising and lowering its head, it balances itself to be more stable while running. Pokemon Silver says it races through grassy plains with powerful strides, leaving footprints up to 4 inches deep. I feel like 4 inches, that's quite a bit. I would end
That's
up
like
tripping over the dirt.
for sure. But they only have like little talons though. It's not like a giant like if it were like the size of a bear's claw, you might trip over it, but it's just like a little thing.
Pokemon Crystal says it lives on grassy plains where it can see a long way. If it sees an enemy, it runs away at 60 miles per hour. Pokemon Ruby says Doduo's 2 heads never sleep at the same time. Its 2 heads take turns sleeping, so one head can always keep watch for enemies while the other one sleeps. Pokemon Sapphire says Doduo's 2 heads contain completely identical brains. A scientific study reported that on rare occasions there will be examples of this Pokemon possessing different sets of brains. So, do you think that means the brains are in like the middle area of the Pokemon?
Like next to the stomach.
I guess. I mean, how could it have
Well, I think because it says they have
completely okay,
identical brains, it means it's in their head and they're the same thing. But
okay.
their heads are pretty small, so their brains are only going to be like the size of a
Yeah.
half dollar.
Explain what a half dollar is for the kids.
Yeah, I was like, do we need to explain it? How can we explain this in TikTok terms? It's like
It's like TikTok
when
shop.
it's I don't know what TikTok shop is. You're gonna have to explain TikTok shop in TikTok terms.
It's like a TikTok shop. So TikTok shop is like a marketplace on TikTok and you can buy things. I bought energy drinks from there once.
Bro, I don't know if I would trust anything that affects your heart from TikTok shop. You might need to go to the doctor.
It was a year ago. We're good.
Okay, yeah. Okay, if you've survived a year, then it's probably only taken time off your life. It's not gonna end it immediately.
All right. So Pokemon Emerald says Pokemon Diamond and Pearl says the brain and its 2 heads appear to communicate emotions to each other with a telepathic power. Pokemon X says a 2-headed Pokemon that was discovered as a sudden mutation. It runs at a pace of over 60 miles per hour. So, if it was discovered as a sudden mutation, does that mean they're like another Pokemon to mutate from, or just a regular bird that became a Pokemon?
I would like was it a one-headed just Dodo became Doduo, became Dodrio, which I guess they called it Dodo
Maybe.
in Japan, so I don't know.
Maybe.
It's evolve into it's gonna have a 4th mutation and it'll be called a Doodoo. Because that's pretty much what a Doduo and a Dodrio are anyway, so
You know what? Before we go on, I'm just saying, I thought this was going to go by so quickly, but we have a lot to say about Doduo.
I know.
Pokemon Scarlet says its twin heads have exactly the same genes and battle in perfect sync with each other. And to put it this way, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet did not exist the last time we did a podcast.
Wow. That's crazy. So it's funny that all these Pokedex entries essentially say the same 2 things. Either it runs away at 60 miles an hour or they never sleep at the same time, which just goes to show that even the Pokemon company hates the Doduo, thinks the Doduo sucks.
And then the last one is from the game Pokemon Sleep, which it says to keep itself from being attacked while asleep, Doduo's 2 heads take turns staying awake. You'll only see both heads asleep together very rarely, perhaps only when Doduo feels completely safe. And then some trivia, which also isn't that exciting. In the Pokemon Red and Blue beta, Doduo was originally known as Dodo, its Japanese name. And that was our Who's That Pokemon segment on Doduo.